What is good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Fox's Den. It's your boy Foxy. We're getting into some more Heavenly Delusion. New episode, episode 3. I believe it's called Kiriko and Haruki. So Kiriko is one of our characters. That is the girl that identifies a man, as we learned at the end of last episode. And then Haruki, I don't know, is that supposed to be Maru? Because I know she calls the kid that apparently likes her Maru. So I don't know if this Haruki person is different or if that's like his full name or something. So I guess we'll figure that out on this episode. But so far this show has been a mindfuck. I don't know what's going on, but that's what makes it enjoyable, because it's kind of this sci-fi psychological, like, what's happening here? What's really going on? We got an outside world where it looks kind of post-apocalyptic. God, that shit is hard to say for some reason. There's been some sort of collapse a couple years before this, or a good amount of years before this, which has turned the world the way it is outside of the heaven place, which is where these kids are, where it seems like this kind of school where they learn stuff, but also it seems like some of the kids, most of the kids have their own like individual special traits or something. And I think that goes for some, I don't know if it's every person, but it seems it goes for a lot of people. I don't know about Kiriko, but definitely Maru as well, because he killed that man-eater thing last episode from the inside. Somehow. Whatever he did to, those things that were traveling inside of it, and it literally destroyed its heart from the inside. So he has some sort of special ability. So that makes me think, okay, there's definitely something going on here where each person has their kind of own individual special ability. But I don't think it's every person. I think it's more maybe like the newer generation or something like that, if I had to guess. But I'm assuming we'll find that out through the heaven place, like where these kids are, because this is obviously seems like a place where they're kind of experimenting on them. They're not completely keeping them ignorant from like what's outside if they're curious, because obviously this one girl has been curious, like, is there really an outside? And the director goes on to say, like, oh, it's okay, they'll find out eventually. Like, yes, there is, but it's a hell. And so obviously this one girl is very curious, and some of the other kids seem like they've already known, like, oh, of course there's an outside, and it doesn't seem like they're too bothered, but it's definitely very interesting on what's going on there, so I can't wait to learn more about that. And then obviously Kiriko and Maru, they seem to be heading back to Tokyo on some ship off the end of last episode, and they've been searching for heaven, but it seems like they aren't really getting any good clues, so they're like, damn, we're not gonna find it this way. And Kiriko's trying to keep this promise to this woman that, eventually, I guess, passed away, and was like, take Maru to heaven. So I wonder if they actually find this place, and if that does happen, like, I don't know, who knows if Maru even like enjoys it there, or like maybe we figure out some wild shit, like they're doing something that they're not supposed to be doing, or who knows, bro. There's not a lot to go on right now, but that's what makes this mystery so good. So without further ado, let's get into the episode. If you guys enjoy it, please leave a like down below, comment, let me know what you guys think, subscribe for new, and hit that notification bell so you know when the next one's dropping. Let's get into it. Episode 3, Heavenly Delusion. 5 years ago. Oh, okay. Are we gonna finally learn about like what kind of happened, or is this still after the collapse?
5年前、僕らは電動カートレースの興行をなりわいにしていた。
Oh, we're gonna learn about her past. So this is still after the collapse. Oh, so this kid Haruki is the one that we're learning about, or the one that he's in the episode title. Maybe this is her brother that one guy was talking about. Okay. This dude's got the name Robin. I already like him. And his voice actor is very similar. I think it's Zoro, if I'm not mistaken. That's actually crazy. I think it's Zoro. For the first time hearing it, I could be wrong, but I'm gonna need to hear it again. I think that is. I think that is Zoro. Obviously, just the demeanor is very different.
足の裏で立っている感触を確かめろ。なんか欲しいもんがあったら言え。
I think this guy Robin is the one that Kiriko is trying to find in the present time.
それ何の肉？猿とカラスとネズミかな？
じゃあズボンでももらえば半分に切れば履けるだろ。
そんなに足見てないわ。お腹空いた。
Hmm.
姉ちゃん、
That guy is called the Doc or
見
something.
てなかったの？落車して危険。怪我は？後続の人が避けてくれたから平気。
Oh, and this is Kiriko.
ねえ先生。
あの医者隠れて人食いの研究したり人体実験してるって話だぜ。
Interesting.
今ロビンが調べてる。あんまりキリコちゃんを近づけない方がいいぞ。
So that made him naturally worry about his older sister. I'm assuming that's her younger brother. Yeah, Takehaya. They have the same last name. Yeah, they're siblings.
行くの？大丈夫。僕の作った銃もあるし。ロビンの役に立ちたいんだ。
This must be how his brother, like, or her brother passed away. Or I guess it is his. I don't know.
思えばこの頃が僕にとっての。
But how did it all of a sudden get put onto her? Like, she got the blame put on her. Like, she killed him or something? Yeah.
って怒られたよ。
That sounds exactly like Zoro.
ロビンは10年前の大災害で
Fucking scolding
僕と同じ年の
Luffy.
妹を亡くしてるんだ。産地から姉ちゃんのレースだ。またね。
Okay, so he didn't die at the man-eater.
そうだね。
He didn't die by the man-eater. That's what I'm trying to say. So maybe there is some sort of crazy accident where she actually does, like, run over him or something? I don't know.
よし、間に合った。
I think it's gonna be some more of a situation where, yeah, he's trying to protect her and doesn't want her to get hurt, because it can turn invisible, so they're not gonna be able to see it right away going that fast. He's trying to take care of it by himself. Nope. That obviously didn't do shit. You gonna take it on with just a knife? Boy, get the hell out of there. Hell no, bro. I'd be running if I were you. Damn, the animation, though. Oh, nah. It's starting to absorb you. Damn. Do they have to go through this? Yeah, they do. Oh my god, it's already feasting on him. Damn. It let him go, but it already ate his lower half, didn't it? Yeah, no. Oh my fucking god. That is gruesome. Holy shit. And the man-eater just dips. It actually just dips and leaves. So this is why they think that she killed her brother? Damn, bro. That fucking sucks. This is probably even farther before the flashback that we were just seeing. Wait, what? He's still alive? Is someone actually trying to save him, or is this the doc, like, doing these experimentations or whatever. Okay, we heard 2 gunshots. We heard a gunshot as Kiriko was holding him, and then we heard a gunshot after him like looking back on his life, like on a like fucking surgery table or something. This is her dreaming about it. This is Kiriko, right? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold the fuck on. You're telling me the Kiriko that we know right now is actually Haruki? There's no fucking way. Yeah, exactly. That's fishy as fuck, bro. This fucking bug! I'm gonna lose my mind.
自分が春樹だということ、その証拠に確実に襲ってくる姉を失った悲しみ、そして時折もたげる好きな女の体を手に入れた。ロビンは医者の裏の顔を探ってたはずだ。ロビンならきっと調べられる。どうして僕が姉ちゃんになっているのか。
Okay, so this is why he's trying to find the doctor.
すみません。浅草レース界の稲崎ロビンに会いたいんですけど。
That makes way more sense now why she identifies as a man, because it's literally the brother that has her body for whatever reason, whatever the doctor did. Somehow he lived, transferred his consciousness to her body? That's wild, bro.
稼ぎ頭だったレーサーが事故で亡くなったり、リーダー格の子が行方不明とかで、いろいろ不幸が重なってこの街でやっていけなくなったんだろうね。
Wow.
姉ちゃん。
Damn, bro. This kid Haruki has been going through a fucking lot for the past couple years. Holy shit.
リーダー格の子が行方不明とかで。
医者だ。医者が全部知ってる。
Mm-hmm.
ロビンの行方も、姉ちゃんが死んだ理由も、僕が姉ちゃんになって生きてる理由も。
Wow, bro. We're getting huge plot progress in this episode. This episode is amazing.
いろんな町に住み、依頼をこなし、一人で何でもできるようになって。それから4年ほどして。中野で君と出会ったんだよ。
Dude, Maru's probably listening to this and like, what the fuck are you talking about? Oh, he looks pretty normal. He looks
こんな話を人にしたのは初めてだ。
He looks like he's accepting it pretty well.
一つ確認したいんだけど。
君、ちょっといないくらい美少年だから、すぐふさわしい相手見つかるって。
こんな気が合う女の人見つかんないよ。
That's such a funny concept. Yes, she said what I was thinking, or he said what I was thinking. They're both guys, so that's why you guys get along so
その
well.
人のことはどう思ってるの？
あら、同性としてだよ。君まだ混乱してるよね。
こんな振られ方したらそりゃ混乱もするよ。
Dude, Maru's going through it, dude.
そうする。何をうるさいな。
Maru's had enough.
外にでっかい魚がいたんだよ。
確かに、雨も降っていないのに窓の外が濡れてる。
Uh-oh.
妙だな。
A fish man-eater this time?
一応警戒だ。船長に。
Bro, what the fuck? It's got like human hands and shit too? Bro.
得意だ。
Right back into the mix of things. Holy shit, what an episode. That episode was astounding. That shit was so good. Wow. We got a good amount at the end too. I think we got an end credit, so I'm gonna sit through this.
ブク、コナの邪魔になるからあっち行くよ。
本物の赤ちゃんには顔がないんだ。
Huh? Excuse me? No, not really. I don't, bro, what? Okay, that's some crazy weird info at the end, in the end credit, bro. Nah, this show's wild, dog. That's probably the best episode yet in terms of progress of the plot. That was so good. Alrighty, guys, what another amazing episode of Heavenly Delusion. I mean, like a really amazing episode of the show. Probably the best one yet in terms of getting info, plot development, new faces, understanding the main character even more. I mean, pretty much everything that we needed to know about Kiriko, which is really Haruki, was divulged in this episode, which I am so glad, and it completely threw me off guard. I was not expecting that whatsoever. I mean, that was really, really intriguing and really good. I love how they did that. So basically, we get into the episode where we start off, most of the episode here, where we start off 5 years before the present time, before Kiriko or Haruki and Maru. We see basically where they kind of like live their life, and it's 5 years before the present time, and like they had like a nice little system of like, you know, they had like an orphanage where all these kids lived, and like they all lived kind of happily, pretty chill. This kid Robin, who is the same voice actor as Zoro, I noticed that right off the bat, and he is very capable and dependable. A lot of people looked up to him. He's like, you know, like a young adult, one of the older kids of the place that everybody looked up to, especially Haruki. And so this is when we meet Haruki, you know, Kiriko's younger brother. You know, basically this is when the time that Kiriko was, you know, a go-kart racer. So like this is how that, you know, they made their money, or she made the money, most of the money. Like she was the breadwinner for the orphanage, and that's how they stayed afloat, and you know, everybody did their thing and did a good job, and they were able to live a pretty decent life doing that. And then this is where we also meet the doc, and this is why, you know, Haruki in the present timeline has those two pictures, because she's looking for both of them, because this is where that's where all the answers lie, is with those two. She's got to find one or the other. Preferably the doc, if she could, obviously, or he could. But yeah, I mean, wow, like that shit was crazy. So we kind of get into it, like we're slowly learning about Kiriko's younger brother Haruki, seeing, you know, how they depended on each other, and they were very good siblings, and Kiriko doing her go-kart racing, keeping the orphanage alive, and just everybody having a good time. You know, she was like one of the best racers in the go-kart thing. And so one night, you know, they're just sleeping like usual, and then Robin and like some of the, I guess, other people that were in that town heard that there was a man-eater, and they're like, all right, we got to go kill that thing. So they were like, all right, we're going out. And also Haruki tagged along, and, you know, I guess, you know, Robin was very protective of him because he's younger, obviously, and probably because I think Haruki mentioned that he had lost somebody before that, so that's probably why the overprotectiveness like kind of jumped and put onto him. So I don't know if Haruki actually did get the kill on that man-eater, even though it was rumored that he did, because obviously he was with Robin and a bunch of other people, but he survived that. I thought that was where he died, and it was like, oh, okay, all of a sudden, like, the blame somehow shifted onto Kiriko, which wouldn't make much sense because she wasn't even there. So I was like, all right, how the fuck did this rumor come about where she's the one that killed her brother, and how does he actually die? So pretty soon after that, like, we see that he's having a conversation with the stranger that's mentioning, like, oh, you were the one that killed the man-eater last week? He was like, yeah, and then all of a sudden he's like, oh, what time is it? I'm gonna miss my sister's race. Like, I gotta go. And so he hauls ass. He gets to the race right before it's about to start, just on time, just like he usually does. Gets a good spot up high where he can see everything with his binoculars and everything. And he hears this noise where it sounds kind of like a crash or something rumbling. And he looks over to his left with his binoculars, and he actually sees a man-eater. And it's the same sort of man-eater where it's able to turn itself invisible, so it's kind of hard to see. Would probably cause havoc on the racetrack because they're not able to see that right away moving that fast. So he's like, fuck, I gotta do something. I gotta get some help or something. Goes down, tries to get help. Nobody's answering. Nobody's paying attention. He's like, all right, I'm just gonna take it on myself to, like, take care of this thing, which is definitely not the right thing to do, because obviously it's just one person versus one man-eater, and you have literally just like one kind of like gun. It's not even really a gun, but it's, you know, the best thing that you got, I guess. And so sure enough, he wants to challenge it on his own and shot it. Didn't do anything, and then he tries to start getting up close and fuck it up with a knife, and he does get one good hit on it, but because he gets so close, it starts absorbing him and eating him. So it's like, fuck, here we go. This is how he goes. And, you know, I was thinking, okay, maybe this is how Kiriko actually ends up killing him, because she like runs him over or whatever. But sure enough, she realizes there's a man-eater on the track, and she tells everybody to stop, like, go back to HQ, tell them to call the race off, like, this is serious, like, no. And then the man-eater, she notices like the man-eater's like squelching, like it's making this noise, like it's eating somebody, which it is. And then it slowly turns and she sees, like, you know, Haruki halfway eaten already. And she's like, oh, fuck, here we go. And that's where she gets back on her cart, tries her best to run it over and, like, you know, hurt it as much as possible, which also kind of hurts her in the process. She gets, you know, scrapes and bruises all over her. And then she is able to pull Haruki away from the man-eater. But sure enough, like, he had already been mostly eaten. So once she pulls him away, like, his arms are gone, half of his body's gone. Like, it's just his upper half. He's barely hanging on. And I was like, okay, damn, this is wild. This is how he died, and this is why, you know, this is how the blame gets put on her. But then it quickly takes a very drastic turn into something I did not think was going to happen at all, and just completely threw me off guard, where it seems the doc, you know, maybe Kiriko went to the doc, like, you got to do something to save my brother. So I'm assuming maybe, like, Kiriko wanted this. Maybe. Could be, but also could not be, because there was already rumors around the doc, you know, experimenting and researching man-eaters and experimenting on humans. So there was already that rumor. But sure enough, he goes into this kind of like, we hear a gunshot. So I don't know if it was like the doc that pulled up maybe and shot Kiriko. So they're both in kind of like a death-like state, but they're not dead yet. And that's what allows him to be able to perform surgery on them, and does what he does, and it allows Kiriko, like, switches Haruki's consciousness or like soul or whatever it is, and puts it into Kiriko's body. And that's how that whole thing happens, because we heard that gunshot, and then he goes into this dreamlike state where he starts fonding over the memories that he has with his sister. And then eventually we hear another gunshot and kind of see him, I guess, like on a table, you know, like a surgery table. And then we hear another gunshot, screen goes blank, and then patient wakes up, and it's Kiriko. So I thought it was, you know, obviously Kiriko, like, getting fixed up from the scrapes and bruises that she had from the go-kart racing. But now that I think about it, it's like, okay, why the fuck would they have to fucking cut her hair off? Like, she was literally bald. So that means they were definitely working on something with her brain or something, maybe? I mean, you gotta have access to that, so it makes sense that you're cutting the hair off to get complete access to, like, the head, skull, brain area, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. So she wakes up. She's obviously, like, very worried, very confused, but I don't realize it until she, or the audience itself doesn't realize it either, until she looks in the mirror. And this is where he starts to have the self-realization, and it, like, reveals it to the audience, like, this is Haruki. This is Haruki. This is not Kiriko. Haruki, consciousness, soul, whatever, that's him, but inside his sister's body, which is just fucking insane. And it makes perfect sense on why Kiriko, or Sis, from Maru's perspective, she identifies as a man. It's because it really is a man. Like, it really is a guy. It's Kiriko's brother that's inside of her body. And so that makes perfect sense now. And it's really more of a literal sense. Like, I'm literally a guy put into my sister's body. And whereas before, it just made it seem like, oh, okay, she just identifies as a man. Like, that's just like her sexuality or whatever. Like, that's what it made it seem like in the end of last episode. Or the end of the second episode, last episode. So that's what it made it seem like. And then this episode, we learned that it's way more literal than you think. Like, it's literally her brother in his sister's body, which is crazy. And obviously Maru's, you know, understanding of this information and learning all of it at once, he was, like, very overwhelmed. He's like, oh my god, like, what is going on? Like, and then, like, you know, Haruki's obviously kind of, like, keeping up his confidence, like, you're a good looking guy, like, I'm sure you'll find somebody more compatible eventually. And he's like, how can you tell me that now? I'm not gonna find somebody that I get along with so well. And that's where it made me think. And sure enough, Haruki said it right back, like, obviously we get along so well because we're both dudes, like, you know what I'm saying? So he's obviously very overwhelmed. He's like, god, maybe if I go to sleep, I'll just wake up and it was all a dream or something, you know? So he's obviously very, like, overwhelmed, and kind of like, what the hell did I just learn, bro? And that's the same thing with the audience. Like, that is crazy information, and the plot has just been taken to a whole new level. Like, I was not expecting that at all. Like, I really thought like Kiriko was Kiriko. I was not expecting this whole like other, twist at all. So it's very interesting. The Kiriko that we see, yeah, it's the body of Kiriko, but that is actually Haruki, her younger brother. So who knows if Kiriko even is still alive? Like, Kiriko's consciousness, soul, whatever. Because, I mean, if you took Haruki's consciousness or soul from his body, which was basically on death's doorstep, completely like cut in half. I mean, he was basically dead. Take his soul or consciousness, whatever, put it into Kiriko's body. Where does Kiriko's soul or consciousness go after that? I don't think they share it, because obviously I feel like Haruki would notice that. And then obviously if they're not sharing it, then what? Did he just dispose of Kiriko's consciousness or soul? Because why would you put it into Haruki's body when Haruki can't? I mean, I'm assuming. I mean, I don't know what else you can do with the experimentation that this doc was doing, but I'm pretty sure he was unsavable. Like, he was fucked up, bro. Like, he was dead, basically. Eaten in half. So very, very intriguing stuff, and that just took the show to a whole new level for everybody that's watching it and doesn't read it. I mean, I was not expecting that at all. That was so good, bro. That was so good. That was amazing. I really loved that. And then that's where we quickly see how he started his journey of like looking for Robin and the doc. That's like his whole goal, is just looking for them two. And then he, ended up taking on this task along the way of, trying to find heaven with Maru, which maybe if they get to heaven, that might give Haruki some clues too. Like, maybe the doc is there or something. You know what I'm saying? And then towards the end of that, we see that like some guy like sees like a huge fish on the window, and then they show up and they're like, what are you talking about? And then quickly it shows up on the window again, and it's a man-eater. Looks wild as fuck. Looks like a shark or fish, some big ass shark or fish or something with human hands and shit. I mean, it looks crazy. So I guess they're gonna have to take care of that next episode. And then for the end credit, we get back over to the. What are you barking at, bruh? What? Play with your ball and be quiet. You don't have to bark with the ball, okay? Thank you. The end credit, we get back over to heaven. The school area where all these kids are, and we're kind of seeing them like do their everyday shit. This one girl's like looking at this guy's drawing again, like, oh yeah, I like your weird drawings. They're always so cool or whatever. And she asked for it again, and he's like, no, I promised this one to the other girl. Like, no, like you get the next one. And that's when the other girl shows up and like pulls her away and like starts kind of like lecturing her or scolding her, like, don't say bad things about his drawings. And she's like, no, I'm not. I'm giving him a compliment. Like, even though it's weird or whatever, like I still like it. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then that's where she says that she has seen a baby before and that babies don't have faces. And it's like, okay, what the fuck does that mean? And then the episode ends. So like this show is a constant mind fuck, and I love it. But it's obviously we've seen from this episode that we do get answers here and there. It just depends on when. Like this episode for sure, we definitely got some answers about Kiriko, Haruki, that whole relationship, the scenario, what they went through. It's actually Haruki in Kiriko's body. He's like, bro, what the, like, nah, this show is really good. I like it a lot. It's a huge mystery, very, very intriguing, psychological mindfuck, and it's really good. So I love it a lot. And she's going crazy, squeaking her fucking balls. So I'm gonna wrap this up. I think that's all I got to say on that episode. It was an amazing one. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you guys liked it, please leave a like down below, comment, subscribe if you're new, hit that notification bell so you know when the next one's dropping. I'll see you on the next one. Y'all be good. Deuces.